Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to ATM Spellbound. So since the last episode, I have basically just come out mining. Since the last cut of the last episode, I was doing some mining and I died. I decided, right here, I decided that I was going to jump over the lava. Instead of dropping my water, jump over the lava to mine some gold. And I made it. But the jump back killed me. I fell in the lava and I couldn't get out. We cannot mine that yet, but we do need to bear in mind that there is a Stella Arcanum right here. But it's really easy to find. And we might actually get to where we can mine those today. But back in here, I did want to pop you guys in because I have found one of the things. Well, I was really just mining for just general resources for the most part. But right here, there's actually a spawner right there, and there's another one over there. And so I'm kind of weary a little bit. But we do have diamonds. So we actually got our very first. We got 10 diamonds from that. Also, right in here, you'll notice that there is some more diamonds. So we're going to go ahead and grab those. And there's I think a mine shaft up there. I'm not brave enough to mess with that right now because of cave spiders. But also right here, there are more diamonds. That's all the diamonds I have. That's all the diamonds I found. But we actually have 23 diamonds at the moment. At this point, I am going to warp home. I mean, I didn't fill up my inventory. I was just basically caving. But that's all I had set out to do, was just get a little bit of resources and kind of look around for diamonds. Maybe we could find some. So, actually, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and move these down because we're going to be using these a bit today. Also, our bed. Just kind of for the time being, we're going to set our respawn here. But I do have something else I want to show you guys here in just a moment. I did get a honing. Let's see. I'm trying to buff up durability. Yeah, I can still do this. It requires the tier 2 hammer. I am going to have to upgrade that hammer fairly soon. But let's go ahead. Let's upgrade our hammer first and foremost. Oh, and we do have a honing, but I need a hammer to hone it. We're going to go ahead and upgrade the iron hammer real fast to an iron hammer. There we go. So now we have an iron hammer, and I'm just going to put this one into there. And that way we can upgrade our pick at this point. Because I want to go ahead and upgrade it to a diamond pick. So that. And we're going to do both sides, of course. So there we go. But that way at least we can mine the Stella Arcanums. Toss that into there. And before I forget exactly where that location is, I'm just going to pop in and go ahead and mine that Stella Arcanum. And it is important, of course, whenever you mine Stella Arcanum, you do want to mine them anytime you see them because they are fairly rare and they are extremely useful. But also make sure that you're not standing near them because they're going to deal some damage. Because they will go boom. There's a monster box there. I was debating about trying to take it on, and I was like, nah, I think I'm going to play it safe and not mess with it at the moment. But we will, just not right yet. So we're going to pretty much stand back as far as possible from this. Because whenever it does get mined, of course, it's going to go boom. There we go. But we got a piece of stellarite. Let's see. The Eternal Stella within this pack is Expetrified Isnium, Star Metal, Terra Steel, Soul Stained Steel, Ingot of the Skies, and Unarith. So we're actually going to have to pull from quite a few different things in order to get that. But that's fine. None of that stuff is terrible to get. It's just a lot of different mods that we're going to have to get basically ranked up in order to do that. So, and real quick, I don't see any diamonds like just right there or nothing. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and warp on home then. And I want to take you guys down below and show you something that I came across while I was working on the last episode. But show you something down here because I was digging this out because, of course, we needed more lunar stone while I was working on the build. And I ended up going ahead and just mining a little like mine shaft down for the time being. And we have found our first kind of like deep underground cavern down here. So we're actually going to open this up. And I hear something. Let's just go ahead and light this up as best we can. There is cinderstone. We're not going to step on that. But I want to make sure that this place is safe. The nice thing is we're not going to run across like skeletons and stuff down here. Of course, beetles are terrible, but I don't think that they are going to spawn down here either. I believe it's just those big creepy crawly bugs. Actually, I think I see one right over there. Oops, almost went right into that stuff. And if I recall, that sets you on fire, and that's like the worst thing. I actually see a chest back in there as well, though. Here is some aquite. So we're going to go ahead and take that. How deep? Okay, I can stand on this. There we go. Quite a bit of moonstone. I probably will end up getting that. I wonder if that has a spawner in it, to be honest. And we're going to grab the emerald ore. Oh. It is a spawner. We're going to go ahead. It doesn't shut it down, though. Alright. So we're going to have to actually break that spawner if we want them to stop spawning. It should be actually fairly easy, though, because they're not going to be able to handle the water. There we go. That's how we beat the one above ground, actually, if you recall. Oh, this does like no damage to him. This sword isn't much better. Actually, our enchanted sword is a lot better, but since I don't have a way to repair that, I'm trying to take care of that sword as best I can. At least until we get a way to repair it or we find a better sword, because it is really good. And it's really good against, like, strong mobs and things like that. Oh, we got another one coming down. But I don't think he'll be able to really mess with us, though. So, beetles are by far the most dangerous thing, I think, that I've seen within this dimension. So, the nice thing is, what's funny is, if they attack me while I'm working on the building, actually what I've found works extremely well on them is they will tend to get stuck on framed blocks. And so you can just kind of hide behind a frame block in order to beat them. It's really, really cheesy, but it works. So, what about our other chest up here? Oh, we got Slayer 1, increased damage against monsters. And we have Wrath 1, increased damage against everything. But only for the trident on the Wrath. Another Pyrope pick and Aquite gemstone. So, we'll take those. There's also some more Aquite over here. And I do want to mine that real quick. I believe this is the same cave, though. I was trying to mine kind of in the direction of the cave that we kind of uncovered in the last episode. Oh, beetles do spawn down here. Oh, he's way over there, though. Man, I wish I had a bow. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Since he's not really interested in us, can we come around this way? Ish. I don't think so, actually. I don't think it connects into that cavern. But I think it's the stalagmites and stalactites in these caves or something. But it makes them, like, kind of spooky a little bit. Oh, I see cobwebs. Come on. Oh. Gosh. Ah. No. He's so hard to hit. Oh, that's terrible too, because that's a really long run down there. Oh, almost ran off that, thinking I had the bunny slippers on. It is that cave that we had tapped into, because I can see a torch down below. Oh, man. Well, I mean, I could run for it. He might be kind of stuck back in there, so I'm going to run for it. Ugh. It's actually terrifying, by the way. Alright, I think we still have... There we go. I think we still have our ghost shape up. Alright, but we got diopside. So we're going to go ahead and grab that. Also the emeralds here. And I'm curious about the quality of the horizon gear. It's only 5. Yeah, that's actually just on par with our default stuff. Is there something... Aquite is a little bit better. And I also need to look and see what the damage on the sword is as well. Okay, so no, this is just a... Anyhow, this is just a spawner. Because there's just a lot of spiders in there, and I feel like extremely weak. Yeah, they're shooting at me right now. We're going to come underneath here. I'll take these emeralds, thank you. It should be... Nope, I'm 1 block off. That's okay, I can get it from here. There we go. Okay, now clearing out the spider nest is gonna be a little bit tougher. Probably the easiest way is gonna be to just try to pull them over. Yeah, there we go. There's 1 down. Hello. There we go. There's another 1 down. I think there's still... Yeah, there's still... 1 over there. He's shooting at me. Come on. Let me top off because my health isn't great. I should have been doing that this whole time. Actually, he might come over here. Hello. I should have brought more food with me because I thought we were just going to come down here and check out that one little section and then... Oh, he got me. That's okay. Poison doesn't last but for like a couple seconds. So, it does deal a decent amount of damage, but... Oh, actually, diopside is really good armor. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Okay, and there is a loot box in here. That's great. I hear another one. But I think, yeah, they're just all around here. Oh, there's actually 2 loot boxes in this. Close quarters. What's that? Open 25 instants per player loot boxes. And, oh, what do we got here? Protection 1 and Impaling 1. Let me just dump this stuff off. And some Pyrope pickaxes. We got a Horizonite. Ingot. Okay, and we cleared that out. That's great. I'm going to head back up at this point, I think. I feel accomplished, and I need food, because I don't have any. Okay, it's been a little bit since the last cut. I've actually come out mining, and I was doing some building and stuff. A couple things to note. My picks did just break, so I'm going to have to head back up, but... A couple things to note here. You can see I've gotten a lot of materials here. I was actually down here mainly looking for lapis because we actually didn't have any. It took me forever to find lapis. And I did find a mine shaft here that does have weathered limestone as a lot of the walls. Unfortunately, my picks were about to break by the time I found it, but I was able to find that. But something interesting, I did kill a couple Endermen just by having, you know, a space that was only 2 blocks high. And pulling them over by kind of aggroing them. They are aggressive on sight, so it does make me really weary of the end. when that time comes. But a couple things to note. Endermen can drop Eyes of Ender. I think it probably has to do with the Cursed Ring, because it does say it gives them unique drops, but we are able to get Eyes of Ender off of Endermen. So that was actually kind of a really nice find, to be honest. But let's go ahead, let's pop back home real quick. And you can see most of this is empty now. And you can see here that the base has begun expanding. Now this is all just kind of mostly just structure laid out with the weathered limestone. But you could see a lot of different stairs and things, and the start of some rooms coming together, but a lot of blocks are missing because I'm just kind of sketching out a plan here. And worth noting, there is like kind of a little stair, what's going to be a staircase that comes down to where our cave section is as well. Also, we do have a decent amount of blood in the blood extractor, so we will probably be starting some evil craft before too long. However, we've got a lot of mods available to us at the get-go, and I was kind of debating, do I want to start with storage and get into occultism first thing? Not really. I mean, I don't have that many items, truth be told. Item logistics with Botania and blood magic. As far as our two primary things, we could get into that, but I don't really feel like I need item logistics right now. But something I do need right now is gear, and just kind of a lot of a mod that's easily accessible for us at the moment and has a lot of utility. And what we're going to be starting into first and foremost is Malum, I do believe, because there's actually a block I need for decoration as well. So it's kind of like a win-win there. So we're going to go ahead and just take this. Malum is a very, very straightforward, very simple mod. There's not a ton to it, but what it does have is actually, in my opinion, very well implemented. You can kind of think of it, I think of it kind of as if you kind of mixed Thaumcraft sort of, with the way that, kind of like Essentia works, sort of, like loosely, kind of mixed with almost like blood magic, sort of. In a weird sort of way. But the very first thing that we're going to need is going to be Soulstone. I can do this in that's perfect. And of course we could push for ore doubling too. There's a lot of options for ore doubling within this pack. We will push for it, but not just yet, I don't think. I'm going to go ahead and just cook up. Really, I don't need this much. Let's just go with like, we'll just go with 16. Let me just go ahead and warp back up a little bit quicker that way. And this is my method for smelting now, because I could smelt pretty much everything this way, so it just kind of saves me fuel. This little create setup has proven to be extremely valuable, not just for the building blocks, but just kind of all around. So that's going to complete a quest for us. Yeah, no reward for that. And the next thing we need to do is make the Crude Scythe here. Actually, yeah, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and just throw a little bit of this in there, because that's one thing I don't like, being out of iron. But as you can see, smelting that way, it's a whole lot faster than using those dinky furnaces. What do I need? Oh, just sticks. But okay, so we got our Crude Scythe, and you can actually see just at a glance, the damage on this is pretty good. I mean, the speed is a little bit slow. It's probably not going to be as powerful as this due to the Vorpal and the cold damage and the fire damage. But it will be stronger, actually, than our default Iron Sword, though a bit slower. Actually coming out to be less DPS, but that's okay. Now, before we actually set out to use this, and let me say, I don't think I have any rune wood. We're going to have to go looking for that, which is fine. But before we set out to use this, let's pop through really, really fast. I need to get a little bit of obsidian real quick. But the way the Crude Scythe is going to work, it's yet another weapon I need to carry. Honestly, I'm probably not going to carry the Pyrope Sword, because I find that it does substantially less damage than this sword and barely more damage than this sword. I don't know if that has to do with... I was thinking it was more nerfed for normal weaponry, but it either maybe has something to do with Tetra, or maybe it just has something to do with just the straight out damage resistance that the mobs have within this pack. It could be that, But let's go ahead and just vein mine ourselves out a bit of obsidian real quick. There we go. And 40, that sounds good. And then we'll just warp back home real quick. And we're going to go ahead and get ourselves an enchanting table to start things off. And then let's also go ahead, get ourselves some bookcases. And they're going to be mahogany for now. I will probably change those down the road, but for now, mahogany's fine. Let me get our lapis. And we're going to enchant this scythe first and foremost, because there is quite a few enchantments for the scythe. Similar to, you know, whenever you go out will hunting with blood magic, it's kind of like that. You'll want to enchant this just like you would your sword to go ahead and get additional, in this case, additional souls per kill. And for right now, I'm just going to set up our enchanting table. This is actually the site of what's going to be the library, but it is probably going to see some adjustments. I don't think the enchanting table will necessarily stay here. And chances are, by the time we're done, we'll have a few enchanting setups, I imagine. But let's go ahead and throw this in, and we have a Smite 5, or Knockback 2. Instead of doing that, let's actually enchant this diamond pick, because I don't see what I'm actually after at the moment, and we've got plenty of XP. Oh, this is a level 40 enchant, that's fine. Efficiency 5, that's pretty awesome. So we got Efficiency 5, Fire Aspect 2, and Smite 5 on a diamond pick. What in the world? Okay. We have a damage pick, I suppose. Throw this back in here and we have Slayer 5. Slayer, though, is increased damage against monsters, which could actually be pretty good. All things considered, good, because Slayer 5, it's going to make up for the low damage, because of course we're dealing less damage to mobs. Let's go ahead and go for it. That's Slayer 5 and Knockback 2. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to make another one. There we go. Because getting a really good scythe right out the gate is going to make our lives a whole lot easier. Now, later on, we will be able to get the Sacrificial Dagger. It's alright, but I do like the Scythe a lot, personally. We've got an Unbreaking 4 one. Let's try for that. And we got Spirit Plunder 3. Okay. Not the best possible Spirit Plunder, but it's not bad. Plus, it does have Bane of Arthropods 5. That will be sufficient, I think. We'll start with that. And so then what we're going to do is, let's get ourselves an anvil. Now we'll have to smelt up a little bit more iron, but that's fine. But I figured we should go ahead and start Malum because I need the decorative blocks. Malum has amazing armor that's very, very accessible early into the pack. I don't believe it would require us to actually go to the end. Going to the end would help, I think, but I don't believe that it's going to require us going to the end to access it. So, okay, so that would be 5 levels or 12 levels. Let's go with this one. So we would end up with Unbreaking 4, Spirit Plunder 3, Bane of Arthropods 5, and Knockback 2. Oh, wait a second. Can I get one with Slayer? Slayer 5, Knockback 2, and Breaking 4, and Spirit Plunder 3. That's what I want. I guess Slayer and Bane of Arthropods won't work together. That's fine. We want the Slayer 5, definitely. So let's go ahead and take that. Oh, man. The knockback on this is something else. Man, I should have just ran for the water. I'm gonna die. Okay. That was my fault. I was getting a bit greedy, and those beetles actually with the... I don't know if they're actually going to drop anything for us, though. And we can block those attacks, but I tend to get just a bit too greedy. It looks like the beetles don't actually drop anything. Okay. And the sad thing is I hadn't died, actually, between cuts, so... I don't remember dying between cuts, but anyways, with our new scythe in hand, what we can do is we can kill various different mobs. I don't know if there's going to be a note about it. Kind of. Sacred spirits from farm animals are the piglins or hoglins. Eldritch come from endermen, mites, and shulkers. These are going to be the most rare for us, so it is important that anytime we see endermen, that we kill them. However, once we get into occultism, there's actually the ability to summon, what is it, endermites, and I believe those would probably still drop our eldritch shards, so that's one way that we could farm those once we start into occultism, I think. Aerial spirits, phantoms is going to be the best method, but you can see there's all these different spirits that we're going to have to try to collect from the Malum mod, and it's probably going to be just hunting the overworld, to be honest, because it does seem like at least some of the modded mobs, and potentially most of them, are not going to have spirits defined. So there we go. And you can see whenever I killed that skeleton there, He dropped 2 Wicked Spirits and 3 Arcane. Now, normally, if we didn't have this enchanted with Spirit Plunder, we would maybe get like 2 spirits, you know. But having Spirit Plunder 3, it's going to increase the amount of spirits that we get by a fair amount. I'm going to give up chasing that Ocelot. We can just run out and find ourselves some cows or something like that. But generally, these spirits are going to relate to... I wonder if we should... I'm gonna save that because I'll remember where it's at. It's right outside our little thing. But generally, the spirits are going to kind of relate to the type of mob, right? Like, really, those fish back there I should have killed because they could have given us aquatic. But aquatic tends to be fairly easy. There we go. Villager. And he's going to drop a few spirits as well. Wicked and Arcane also. And I believe Creepers... Actually, this weapon's going to be great for Creepers. Yeah, Creepers are going to drop us the one that's kind of tied to nature, the Earthen, as well as the Infernal Spirits. But you can see we've already gotten 4. Once again, the Eldritch is definitely going to be the hardest to obtain due to the simple fact that we're pretty much going to have to kill Endermen for that. But that's one reason I wanted to get this started, because I know that we are going to need, for what I want, quite a bit of the Eldritch Spirits, and I wanted to go ahead and get farming up for those. This is a mod that is great to start up pretty quickly, due to the fact that you are going to be killing and farming a little bit, kind of like for the same reason that I started Evilcraft fairly early on, and got us set up so that we could start farming up blood. So, but you can see we get sacred spirits from killing basically just passive mobs, things like pigs and stuff. So it is important that we kill those on sight. I'm going to kill this donkey in hopes that we get some leather. Man, these take a lot of hits. And you can see we got aerial spirits from donkeys. Probably because they can jump. I imagine horses too. Oh, yeah. We got, what was that? Sacred, Earthen, and Aerial, I believe. But at the moment, the only spirits that we are currently missing are Aquatic and Eldritch. And once again, Eldritch, it's basically going to come down to luck when I'm mining and stuff like that. Oh, and there's a waystone. Hey, can I, these are harvestable in this pack. I'm actually going to keep this one, though, and we're going to call it, like, Structures in Plains, because there are a lot of structures here. And that is our first waystone. Oh, and we have a library of sorts here. Oh, I do want this. This will be useful later. Also, the obsidian. Might as well take that. Iron chestplate. Yeah, just because it's a little bit better than pyro. Just leave that behind. I don't really need it. Rip, beloved wife. Oh, and we got, Superstitious Hat. Applies an extra level of looting to killed entities. That is actually extremely nice. And then we can wear that on our head slot. Dwarven Anvil from the Feywild. Okay, but it doesn't look like there's any NPC here. Well, back to killing all the things. And what's nice is we can farm spirits and blood kind of at the same time. For Evilcraft. Now, it is worth noting that you don't really have to spend a whole lot of time initially farming. Oh, and here's a waystone that we can actually take with us. That's perfect. The Community Library. Now, there is a witch somewheres. She's got to be underground here. It's not a big deal because I believe witches are like arcane spirits. And we do already have those, so I'm not that worried about them. But let's go to the river and see if we can find some fish before it gets dark, so we can at least get some aquatic spirits. And then we'll try to find Endermen as time goes on. There's actually a structure down there. I've noticed there's structures spawning all over the place on here, which is fine by me. I enjoy it, because it seems like every time I go out I find something to explore and do. Squid. Squid would be a great place to get aquatic. There we go. And we'll go ahead and just get a few of these. And then the only one that we'll be missing then is of course, the Eldritch. Which that one we're just going to have to get lucky and come across, really, at this point anyways. But like I said, there is going to be some methods that we can use to farm those later on. If we do happen to find a spawner, that'll be great. I know some of these structures will potentially have Enderman spawners in them. And then once we get to the end, of course, and you will notice that these shards kind of shoot out upon kills. There is ways to kind of give yourself a magnet effect for those later on. But we got 43 aquatic, so let's go ahead and just warp on home. And let me dump off some of this stuff real quick. And the sun's back up. I got my inventory all cleared out. But we are going to set out in search of some rune wood. Now, it is possible in this pack to craft the runewood sapling using the alchemy table from Blue Skies. But to get that, of course, we are going to have to kill a boss. The alchemist boss in... actually in the dimension that we live in. But I don't think I'm ready to partake in that just yet. So I'm gonna hold off on that for right now. Okay. That way we got some watermelons. And let's see. We actually, I think, passed up one of the runewood spots. Actually, a couple times I just didn't grab. I didn't have to grab it when we were going through. I actually think we just passed one a minute ago, if I recall. Well, actually, we'll just cut through here and go out to the plains on the other side. I remember seeing one, and I was out of it. I was focusing on mobs, killing mobs, and didn't think about it. But yeah, I do wish I'd gotten the scythe before the last cut, because I did run into those Endermen, but that's okay. You know, we'll run into them again, so it's not that big of a deal, but getting that scythe up and going and enchanted as soon as possible, it does help out quite a bit. Just so that you can go ahead and start generating some of those spirits. We should also probably just break some grass while we're out, because we're going to be starting into a bit of farming here soon. And yeah, here's one. I was thinking, it seemed like the cascading wood from ours generates right up near the trees in this pack. So if you see the cascading wood, there's a pretty good chance you're going to find the Malum rune wood nearby as well. So let's go ahead and just chop this whole tree down to the best of our ability anyhow. Task completed. And task completed. And then we got a bunch more tasks completed because we've gotten quite a bit of the spirits thus far. Okay, yeah, we actually got a decent amount of saplings. No reward for that. Now, in order to actually progress the quest, we are going to have to get an Eldritch Spirit, which is unfortunate. However, realistically, we could go ahead and continue on with the mod without actually finishing out the quest at the moment. I don't know if this is actually going to drop any spirits off of him, though. Oh, he does. What does he drop? It looks like Wicked and I think Aerial, because he flies. We'll go ahead and take that. We have Pigman. It's going to take me all day to kill this guy, though. And I have a sneaking suspicion that if he does get a hit in on us, it's going to hurt extremely bad. Probably here, probably better to use this sword. Because it can actually pump out just a little bit extra damage. And then we'll finish him off with the scythe. Okay, we are almost there. There we go. Be awesome if that was Arcane. I don't think it is, though. I think that's Wicked. We got Dit Von Muz, Reinforced Ironclad Gemstone Helmet with Occult Version 3, Insight 7, Unbreaking 6, Soulbound, 3 armor, or plus 3 armor, plus 1.56 toughness. Wow, okay. That's going to be, like, massive. Oh, do we want to use that? It's got plenty of durability at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it on, because if worse comes to worse, I can repair that. So, what did we get out of here? Warp Scroll. We got a couple Tattered Tomes. I'm going to put these, I think, in the library, so I've been holding on to them now that we've got space and we've got a home. So we're just going to go ahead and pop these real quick. Mana regen, name tag, music disc, manuscripts. We've got Riptide. Which, of course, those books allow you to go over the maximum value for an enchantment by, like, 1 point. Howling Blade. Ooh, pumpkin pies, I haven't eaten those yet. Oh, and I actually have not eaten rotten flesh yet. But the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make some runewood item pedestals. And we are also going to want to make the altar. So, let's go ahead, get that. Now, I don't believe... so there's those. And then the spirit altar. Now, I don't think we actually necessarily need 6. I don't recall there ever really being anything that takes more than like 5 item pedestals. As you see right there. But I think we could work with 6. You can have as many or as little as you want, as long as you have enough to fulfill the recipe requirements. The quest does call for 6, but we're not actually going to need that many. But let's go ahead then and get this. There we go. There is our spirit altar. Okay, I came back out. I was just curious if I could maybe come across an Enderman, you know, just running around at night. The sun just came up. And I did come across this structure, and I'm actually... this is those mushroom guys again. Okay, they look like they drop the same as like piglin type drops. Okay, so I'm going to leave that be. I guess that's some sort of nether style mushroom. I did come across a few of these, so there's a pretty good chance we will find the Aquamarine Portal. It'll probably be in this building, which it looks like it's been destroyed. Well, maybe it could be in this one. I'm starting to notice a lot of waystones sitting around. I did grab a sandstone one when I went through the desert. I'm going to take... well, actually, I might leave this one. And we'll just remove these once we're kind of done exploring these little areas. But yeah, like I said, I was just having a peek around to see if I could find maybe an Enderman during the night, which I didn't find any. But I did get a bunch of spirits. By the way, the aerial, you can get those very, very commonly off of spiders, in fact. But I was just hoping maybe I could come across one, but no luck. That's fine. We will, after some time, I'm sure we'll come across one. But anyhow, what we're going to do is we're going to set up our altar. And like I said, you really only need like 5 of these item pedestals, so you don't really have to go above that if you don't want to. And they just have to be placed somewhere close to the spirit altar. Layout actually doesn't matter much. What we're going to do is have a spirit altar set up here, and I'll probably put carpet down below it. And then we're going to go ahead and put down our item pedestals. Then let's see, we'll probably put the other one here. Because then we're going to mirror this same setup on the other side and then have it laid out. So we'll actually have like 2 altars. I may adjust where they're placed, but I think this will be pretty good. There is one other thing that ties into the altars, which we'll get into that later. But we don't actually need it today. And what I would like to make, if you take a look here, there is a bunch of decorative blocks. The cleansed rock, the purified rock, the eroded rock, twisted rock, and tainted rock that you can make through this mod. There's also a bunch of stuff coming up, which we'll get into next episode, but a bunch of stuff down here that's going to be really extremely beneficial to us. But if we take a look at, for example, the twisted rock, this right here, if we take arcane spirit and 2 wicked spirit with 16 cobblestone, we get 16 twisted rock. So what we're going to do is we're going to take let's see, let me get a full stack. We're going to take and put our cobblestone in right there, and then it is the arcane and the wicked. So what we're going to do then is put in arcane, and we're going to put in wicked, and you can put your full stacks in there, and then we can take them out after. And this is going to take a little bit to craft. I'm not for sure what the default recipe is for hex ash. Gunpowder with arcane spirit. Okay. We can make some of this stuff, and it will make stuff craft a lot faster. Like, I think it's instant, if I recall. But you can see our first bits of twisted rock just got crafted. And they kind of get just tossed out of the altar. And depending on the recipe, certain things are going to take longer, certain things are going to take shorter. I think hex ash is actually pretty quick to craft. We will be crafting some of that later on, because I think I've got yeah, I've got a ton of gunpowder. That's the thing with having this like innate fortune, and then on top of that, having gotten the superstitious hat today, we actually get a ton of drops. So, but you can see that we now have a full stack of twisted rock, and if we want to, we can just pull out our spirits just by right-clicking there, and that's going to pull those out. So anytime that you see like a spirit requirement on a recipe, that you just click onto the spirit altar. But for example, if we take a look at this, and you see this kind of a recipe, these 5 items are going to have to get placed onto the runewood item pedestals, and then your spirits then will go into the altar. But what I'm after today primarily is twisted rock, because we are going to be using this and turning it into the tile version. And that way I can actually start, this is the other decorative block I decided that I'm going to use. That way I can start actually running out this area, because I think I'm going to do the dark purple, kind of purplish themed build going on, especially for a lot of this area. Not maybe not so much for like the undergarden and stuff, but so we'll have something like that. It's going to take a bunch of this, but luckily this stuff is excessively cheap, and it uses 2 of the most common types of souls that we're going to get, which is the wicked and the arcane, which we're going to get from killing just any kind of undead, pretty much. I guess we could get into nature's aura to start spawning endermen as well, and endermites. So that is an option also, but we're going to get ourselves an ender hopper. Go ahead and get this just because it's going to help us out quite a bit with our stuff today. And actually, spirit jars are fairly cheap. We'll probably get into those next episode as well. We got quite a bit to get into next episode. It's fine. What we're going to do here is let's put down a hopper, and you'll notice that if I put cobblestone into there, it'll get dropped into this. So we'll just kind of have that feeding in, and we can dump in our cobblestone as we get it into here. And that way we kind of have an altar that's kind of semi-automated for the time being, and then we're going to throw in our arcane and our wicked. That way it can start crafting for us. And then what we'll do is we'll just have a chest here with our ender hopper for now. We'll probably end up refining this later. I mean, for this setup, really, we could not have any of the item pedestals and have this set up in a corner, just pumping out the twisted rock as needed. But you can see it just crafted some, and that got picked up and dumped into here. That way I can kind of keep this running. And we'll probably, at this point, go ahead, grab all of that, and claim, or chunk load this for the time being. And that way I can kind of keep running. And that way I can at least get the building material going. And then I'm going to try to find an Enderman, maybe. And if I do, I'll probably pop you guys in between recordings. But that way I can actually start working on, some of this space and getting some of the floors ran. And this will be kind of the exterior floors for areas that are open to the outside. That way we kind of have a little bit different texture here. For these spaces. So, of course, we still have a lot of detail work and stuff, but I'm just trying to get the blocks in place that we're going to need for our build. But then come next episode, we are going to pick back up with Malum, because as mentioned, there's still a lot of really good things, and we're going to be getting a lot of equipment from this mod come next episode. So, it has some great baubles that are very accessible early on that will help out with the ring that we're using, the cursed ring. And then it also has some really good armor that we can work towards. Now, to get the top tier armor, we are going to have to get quite a few Eldritch Spirits, and we're going to have to go to the Nether. But we'll potentially work on that next episode, because it's actually not that bad to get to. So, we'll see how things go. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I know it's about wrapping up point, so we're going to wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure and hit that like button. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys then.